advised that she should be hospitalized, but she denied. However, in the midnight, her sugar levels, fell down, and it was reported as 36 in the morning at around 4 a.m. And after that, she was hospitalized. It has been confirmed by Saurabh Bhardwaj as well that how after low sugar levels, she has.
Welcome. It's 8 a.m. by the clock. It's time for the Breakfast Club. I'm Sonal Mehrotra Kapoor, and today on the program we've got a good mix of things for you. A mix of what's happening with the NEET examination, what students should be doing, also what some achievers in the world of chess are doing, that and much more on the program. Let's start. Merit and mental health. What is the mental cost of NEET uncertainty? Students, we hear you, we understand your frustration, but while you vent your anger and talk about this, let's try and bring some solutions on how to fight the mental instability and sort of mental distress that students are under. Meanwhile, the 18-year-old checkmates all her opponents. Who is Divya Deshmukh, the star in the chess circuit now? Nagpur chess prodigy emerges victorious in the World Juniors Girls Chess Championship. Tata Altroz racer walk around, a sporty design, a turbo petrol engine, 6-speed manual gearbox. We tell you all you need to know. And from the world of glam, we get you all the buzz around Sonakshi Sinha's wedding. Who went, who did not, what happened, details coming up. Now, the NEET-PG exam has been cancelled for the third time in the last 4 months. There is a great amount of noise around NEET-UG results as well, and now a growing voice for re-NEET. Students are angry, they are frustrated, they're out on the streets, on social media as well. But underneath all this chatter around the entrance exam, more and more aspirants and their caregivers are now reporting instances of extreme anxiety and in certain cases depression as well. Senior doctors who have been through this process are asking for attention on the mental cost of shattering dreams. The mental health cost, that is all a outcome of the financial cost, the aspirational cost that young minds seem to be paying. On TBC, we spoke with several stakeholders to understand the struggles and uncertainty leading to anxiety amongst aspirants. And on the show today, we hope to offer some solutions to those students in distress. Those who are wondering today, how do I get back the momentum and prepare for a possible re-examination? How do I keep my focus and get on with life amidst this entire controversy? How to stay confident and have trust in the system? And above all, how to keep faith and have confidence in your own preparations and goals. We look at all these answers. First up, let's listen in from the aspirants.
निराशा तो हुई है कि पहले इतने आ गए, थोड़ा सा वो है, पर कोई नहीं। अब अगर दोबारा पेपर हो रहा है तो हम दोबारा से तैयारी करके पेपर देने को तैयार है, उसमें कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। अभी जो हो गया है उसको भूल के दोबारा से तैयारी करने की कोशिश करें, दोबारा से तैयारी करें, क्योंकि अभी थोड़े दिन पहले ही हमने पेपर दिया था, तो 10 दिन की रिवीजन में हो जाएगा, दोबारा से पेपर हो जाएगा।
I have scored 634 marks in NEET 2024 and my rank was 44,186. As the things are happening about the NEET, me as a student is very distracted. If I study for a re-NEET, I can't concentrate on studies. If I waited till 8 July and the decision is coming out about re-NEET, we can't get any much time for preparing for re-NEET. And if decision is for re-evaluate the result, and if my rank was not changing, then only option me as taking a drop, and it is very difficult to taking a drop again.
मेरा रैंक 36,000 है। लास्ट ईयर मेरे नंबर पे रैंक था 9,000, लास्ट ईयर मेरे नंबर में बहुत अच्छे अच्छे कॉलेज मिल जाते थे मुंबई के अंदर, बट इस साल जो कंट्रोवर्सी हुई है नीट के कारण, इसके कारण अच्छे कॉलेज नहीं लग रहे हैं, लेकिन कॉलेज लग रहे हैं। तो मेरी सरकार से यही गुजारिश है कि रीनीट ना करवाएं, क्योंकि बहुत सी जगह पे ऐसा सुनने आ रहा है मीडियाज़ में कि अब रीनीट होने वाला है। तो मेरी यही गुजारिश है कि रीनीट ना करवाएं, जिस सेंटर पे गड़बड़ी हुई है उन्हें ठीक करें ताकि रैंक इम्प्रूव हो जाए, क्योंकि रीनीट से सर हमें बहुत से स्ट्रगल्स, बहुत टेंशन से वापस से गुजरना पड़ेगा।
All right, so the kids are divided what to do. Should there be a re-need? Should there be not? But we are today keeping the focus on how should you take care of your mental health in middle of all this controversy. Joining us now is a clinical psychologist. Mimantsa Singh Tawar is with us. She's the head at Fortis School of Mental Health Program as well. Good morning, Mimantsa. Thanks so much for joining us. You just heard some of the voices over there. But, you know, when it comes to NEET, the peculiar thing here is that unlike any other competitive examination, all of them are hard. We have enough and more tales coming out of quota year after year. But the thing with medical examination is NEET is your only gateway if you want to be a doctor in the country. Unlike a CAT or a MAT where there are other options, unlike engineering where there are other options, here in the country, if you want good training in a government college where all the doctors are great and studies are subsidized, you have all your eggs in the same basket. So how do students cope with this sort of pressure?
No, absolutely. I think a lot of students end up approaching this as a make or a break situation because the pressure is so high. And which is where I think somewhere when it comes to institutions and family and support system, I think it's very important that we work on how can we harness and teach students to harness this pressure, because this is the only examination that they have to sort of go forward in the choice of the career that they have taken. And at the same time, I think what one needs to also understand is that no matter whatever it is, even if it is your only exam in the given year that you have to give, somewhere we all have to be at least be aware of that there could be certain possibilities or uncertainties that can happen. So how can I also prepare myself to some kind of uncertainties? And these uncertainties could be anything. I mean, obviously, unfortunately, over here, the uncertainty is this. And such uncertainties, you know, students, given the fact that they put in so much hard work and so much effort, and we keep talking about how it is important to believe in your effort and to believe in your hard work. So an uncertainty like this, if the people who are looking after it are not able to somewhere at least have the support system and create that perception that, you know, your hard work and effort is not going wasted. We are there for you. Even if there is something that has gone wrong with us, we are there to sort of resolve it. We will do something about it. That's something that we really need to, you know, look into so that, you know, students don't feel disheartened to the extent they do.
Yeah, but let's talk solutions here. A lot of kids, you know, aspiring to be doctors, you know, early 20s, a lot of them, majority of them come from families who have taken loans to take coaching classes. They move cities to go and study there. There is a lot of financial burden attached to this as well. And a lot of them crumble under this pressure. So do you have any solutions for kids like these who are feeling pressured, who are feeling uncertain on what's going to happen next?
So I think first come first, we need to recognize that anxiety in an uncertain situation is absolutely normal. You are going to feel under pressure, when there is an evaluation space that you're in, one ends up feeling a lot of anxiety. And of course, there is added pressure. There could be pressure of either finances, or it could be family, it could be society, it could be your own internal pressure. Pressures will always be there. And one has to look at that, how can I also have some backup for myself? Because one cannot just look at life in one aspect only. That's one part of the thing. But the other is also that one needs to really believe in the hard work and the self-belief that you have, because nobody can ever take that away from you. So maybe if for whatever reason, you know, this doesn't happen, if you have the hard work and your self-belief in place, you will carve some path for yourself to the success that you're envisioning for yourself. Because like I said, when different circumstances, different uncertainties, not everything is in our control. We have to focus on what is in our control. And for students, it is always their hard work, their self-belief, and the fact that, you know, if nobody else, I am watching me. that is something that I need to really look at over there. That if I know that I have done the right hard work, I have put in the right efforts, my focus, my sincerity, my integrity is in the right place, you are bound to go forward in your life. Nobody and nothing can stop you in that sense.
Looking inwards, you're saying, actually helps. That's a good point over there. But doctor, also tell us, the other argument in all of this is the fact that we need mentally strong people to be doctors in this country. Doctors who should be able to handle hard situations. So if any profession is meant to take a lot of pressure, it is this. That is why their entire training is also said to be very, very hard.
And which is why one needs to also look at what can one do in terms of taking care and self-care and mental health aspect to be integrated in the medical system as well. And I think it needs to start a little early. We need to start this from college institutions where we talk about the importance of mental health for the aspiring doctors. We look at how they are able to also take care of themselves, how we are able to help them recognize their own importance of mental well-being. Because yes, there is always a lot of pressure in this profession. There are emergencies, there are uncertainties, and uncertainty that you end up dealing on a day-to-day basis. This is just the starting in the beginning of the uncertainty that they're dealing with this examination. But if you're a doctor, then you don't know what patient is going to come to you and what kind of a case you have. So the uncertainty is part of your life. You just have to accept and learn to enjoy the aspect of being challenges being thrown at you. And at the same time, I think at some point in time, we all end up getting into pressures, and it can impact our mental health. I think the key is to never bottle yourself up. Unmute yourself. That is important. Whether it is your parents, your friends, your colleagues, your peers who are appearing along with you, because you're not alone in this journey. There are thousands of students who are feeling the same pressure, dealing with the same uncertainty. And we all can together support each other by talking to each other. That, how are you managing your pressure, and what did you do? Did you perhaps, give yourself a little break and just go out and enjoy? Or the fact that I'm feeling so low and so many worries that are coming to my mind about finance, about my parents, aspirations, all of this, and somebody or the other is able to give you those words of motivation and wisdom. So always talk. And wherever you feel that you need to reach out to an expert, do that.
Right, those are good points over there. Look inwards, stay confident in your own preparation, and have a support system. I think those are the three key takeaways. Talk it out and ensure that you're able to communicate this and your feelings with others. That is also going to help. And remember, this is just the starting of a very long, challenging career and a much-needed career, much-needed profession, but one that is going to be filled with hardship. So take it as a challenge and move on. That's a good way to get going on this one. Let's also get another perspective on this. One of how do studies get impacted in this process? Ayush Singhal, who's the founder of iDream Career, is with us. Ayush, good morning. Thanks so much for joining us. If aspirants are listening to you right now, those who are worried that, oh God, there's another delay, we don't know if re-examinations are going to happen, what should I do? Should I go back to the revision process? Should I play to my strengths? What do I do? Because we clearly don't know which way this is going to go. What is your advice to them on approach towards revision, approach towards taking the examination and getting it right?
So I think there are a host of things, while a lot of issues are happening, I think students need to be a bit away from all the conflict, while the law and the government take its own course. And a host of things that students can look at right now, right? While there is a, great possibility that there will be a re-exam, students need to be prepared for that re-exam. They need to keep the preparation on for the NEET exam if a re-exam happens. They need to prepare and maybe give more online mock exam to strengthen their preparation. But most importantly, in which I'll talk today, is about having a clarity on what is the alternate career plan for you. Have you kept a backup career option for yourself? As we understand that there are about 1 lakh seat and 24 lakh students competing for it, it's pretty competitive exam and no one guarantees that you will be able to crack it. So having an alternate career option, having a backup career option is very important, right? Because at the time when the result comes through, maybe with the re-exam as well, and if you're not able to get through, And for most of the students after the 24 lakh, it's important to get into government medical seat, which is much more tough, to get through. So having a backup career
Yeah.
option or alternate career option is very, very important. And there are host of career courses now that young students can look at. So start applying to those courses, colleges, keep the backup option on, and preferably even have a seat blocked in a college if you're very sure that you can't take a drop year. Because after 3 or 4 months, if the re-exam happens, or even if the counseling admission process now for the admission takes another 1 month or 2 odd months, with that, by that time you will be left with no other option if you don't apply right now. So keeping that alternate career option and the course is very important. There are a host of career option which I can talk about if you allow me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
keeping that as an option is very important.
Ayush, specifically on people who aspire to be doctors, like I was saying earlier as well, with if you want to get into management, MBA, CAT, MAT, different engineering programs, etc., there are several of them. But unlike any other career, there used to be state board examinations, which is not the case anymore. For somebody who is coming from not a very privileged background and is looking to become a doctor, looking to go into a subsidized government college, what are the other options for them apart from NEET?
Right. So there are host of other option even. So what I suggest is there are three kind of categories, right? One category is which are related field with respect to PCB, physics, chemistry, and biology as a subject, right? The science field, wherein you have pure sciences as one of the option, wherein you could look at botany, wherein you could look at biologist, life science, microbiology, biotechnology, forensic scientist, bioinformatics, geology, conservation scientist, ecologist, virologist, right? So it's not that medical is the only option, right? Or MBBS and BDS are the only two options for science PCB field. Then there are allied medical science courses, medical technology courses, clinical research, nursing, speech and occupational therapist, and so on. The second category is a bit unrelated field. So the speaker before me, she was a clinical psychologist, right? So you could look at psychology, wherein you could take up clinical psychology, sports psychology, counseling psychologist, as the alternate option. You could look at hospital administrator, health education specialist, genetic counseling as other bit related field. Then there are absolutely unrelated field wherein you have to look at what are your strengths and interests, right? Food science being a great option, for PCB students. You could look at design, which is a booming career option right now. Every IIT is also starting design, and you don't need maths or science PCM to take the exam, right? Through UCED. So you could look at product design, you could look at UX design. Why not digital marketing? Why not journalism? Right. So commerce and management, right? You could look at BBA, BMS. You could look at banking.
So,
And
Ayush, let
again
me
and again,
interrupt
I'm
you there.
mentioning.
Let me interrupt you there. There are lots of options, but we are talking about kids who and people and kids who want to be doctors. It's sort of a dream that they live up to. They're either surrounded by doctors in their own family, or there have been life instances which really inspire them to become one. For them to switch careers is hard. For them to give up on their dream is hard. So that's what I wanted to understand. Are there other courses that one can actually take if they want to stick to medical, if they want to stick with medicine? But I think the takeaway from what you're saying is the fact that have a backup. If not, then that there should always be a practical backup. That's what you're trying to say.
Yeah, but the student would have an interest in a part of the three subjects, right? Whether it is physics, chemistry, or bio, right? If you are interested in biology and there are certain topics, let's say botany, which is of your core interest, right? You could look at the pure science, right, and get into botany as a career. If microbiology is one interesting area for you, so there are such options in the related field of science which you can get into, which we don't talk about, right? In India, it's always about medical and engineering as career
Okay.
option, right? So you need to look beyond it. There are related fields which I talked about. They are all related fields to the subjects that students are studying in 11th and 12th in these three subjects, right? So
Okay.
extremely, there are such options, and one has to look at these backup career option while you compete. Not having these clarity as a backup or alternate career option is something that adds to the stress.
Okay. Okay, let me go back to Mimamsa now. Mimamsa, you know, even when we look at these visuals, the ones that are playing on our screen right now of kids standing in queues to go in for their entrance examination and giving, parents standing, they all look so tense. It is this make or break moment in their life. And kids are, the fact is, what's happened right now with NEET is that the exam is over, but the tension is still there. That stress period has sort of increased because of the circumstances, because of the way the examination has unfolded. So to kids and their parents, who I feel equally need the amount of counseling, what would you say is the way to approach this sort of stressful time where this is the time of uncertainty? You don't know exam hoega, fir se nahi hoega. You don't know counseling, what college you're going to get. You don't know which way your life is going to shape up.
Two things I would like to say over here. One is celebrate every small success that you have and always learn from your failures because opportunities are in it. You know, he's already laid out such a huge, aspect of career in front of you. So, and I will also share just one very small story of my own. So I wanted to get into art and designing, and that was my dream. And from there, I couldn't clear any of the entrance examinations where I am today. And I don't regret changing my field, because now I feel so much passionate about mental health. Coming completely from a creative background to being in mental health and psychology, it's a complete switch and a complete change. So, sometimes you don't know, you just have to learn to explore, take what comes in front of you as an opportunity that you can harness, that this is what is in front of me. Let me see what can I do in the best possible way with whatever comes in front of me, because life is the biggest teacher than anything else. And that's something that we need to do, that we need to keep learning in life. Never let it, derail you from the fact that that maybe I will not be able to do it because my dream has somewhere got shattered. You can always build dreams. You keep your hope going and just keep going forward with your hard work and self-belief.
All right, then. That's a good positive note and a good life example to sort of end this segment on. Thank you both for joining us on TVC and sharing your thoughts on the subject. All right, we hope that was helpful. If you have other views, if you have other issues that you want us to look at, please write into us with your feedback. We love to sort of hear from you. But on that note, let's move on. Let's bring you more stories from India and across the globe. Imagine being stuck in space. That is exactly what happened with the Indian origin astronaut Sunita Williams. She is likely to remain in space for a few more days as NASA has again postponed the Boeing Starliner's return back to Earth from the International Space Station. NASA has now provided a specific date for which the spacecraft's return of journey will happen. Recently, 39 samples of kebabs were subjected to tests in laboratories and 8 variants of kebabs were found to have harmful artificial colours. The Karnataka government has banned the use of artificial colours in vegetarian, chicken and fish kebabs. The violations will face severe penalties, including up to 7 years in jail and 10 lakh rupees fine. Global Peace Ambassador Sri Ravi Shankar was welcomed by Iceland Prime Minister. In their bilateral meeting, they discussed the significance of mental health for individual and societal welfare. And Gurudev also highlighted the transformative impact of the Art of Living Foundation's programs in stress reduction and rehabilitation. In 2024, Paris Fashion Week has given reasons enough to rejoice as many Bollywood beauties have left their mark in the City of Lights. Actor Janhvi Kapoor has made news with her stunning debut for designer Rahul Mishra, and Radhika Apte is being talked about for her graceful ramp walk as well. United Kingdom experienced its hottest day of the year with temperatures soaring to 28.3 degrees in Surrey. The health authorities say minor impact are probable across the health and social care sector. Yellow heat health alerts are in effect for millions, warning of potential risks to vulnerable individuals as temperatures may rise further this week. WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange has agreed to plea deal with the Biden administration, allowing him to avoid imprisonment in the United States. The deal involves Assange pleaded guilty to a felony charge related to the breach of the US classified material, with time served in UK counting towards his sentence. NASA's James Webb Space Telescope has captured the first ever image of jets of gas from newborn stars, offering a groundbreaking view of star formation within the nebula, the Serpens Nebula. In the image description, NASA said that a young star formation rejoin is filled with wispy orange, red and blue layers of gas and dust. Early research suggests a new ketamine pill may help treat hard-to-treat depression with fewer side effects compared to other forms of the drug. This will offer a potential breakthrough for patients seeking easier and more accessible treatment options. The world's biggest record labels, including Sony Music, Universal Music Group and Warner Records, are suing the AI startup Suno and Urio for alleged copyright infringement. The label claims these companies use AI to steal music and generate similar works, seeking of $150,000 in damages per infringement. Apple has become the first company to be charged under the EU's Digital Markets Act for violating competition rules with its App Store policies. The European Commission's preliminary ruling states that Apple's practices hinder developers from steering consumers to alternative marketplaces. An 8-year-old Pekingese named Wild Thang has been crowned the world's ugliest dog at the Sonoma Marine Fair, winning over hearts and about $5,000 prize money. The organizers stressed that the contest was about making fun of the dogs, but having fun with some wonderful characters and showing the world that these dogs are really beautiful as well. All right, in a rather sustainable step towards reducing carbon emission, Lufthansa Airlines is adding environmental charges to its fares. An environmental charge for up to €72 will be levied on the flyers by the airlines going on forward. And aviation is responsible for about 2% of the world's carbon emissions, remember, but the new costs will help the airline look at sustainable yet expensive jet fuel.
Lufthansa will add an environmental charge of up to $77 to its fares. The airline group made the announcement Tuesday, joining at least one European rival in doing so. The industry is fighting to cover the cost of meeting new EU rules on reducing emissions. Airlines have warned regulations requiring them to use more expensive sustainable jet fuel could drive up costs. Ticket prices have already surged in recent years in the post-COVID travel boom. That's raised fears further increases could start putting travellers off from flying. The German airline group said fares will go up between €1 and €72 or $77, depending on the type of ticket. It will be on all flights departing from EU countries, Britain, Norway and Switzerland. Some of the increases are effective from this week and others from next year. Lufthansa shares were down just over 1% after the update. Aviation is held responsible for about 2% of the world's emissions, but considered one of the hardest sectors to decarbonise. Fuel for flights can't be easily replaced with other kinds of power. European regulators introduced rules that ask fuel suppliers to ensure 2% of fuel at EU airports is sustainable aviation fuel by 2025 and 70% in 2050. A source said Air France-KLM is considering similar measures to Lufthansa.
Extreme hunger in Congo has led to the country look at alternate options, starting off with eating live insects in place of meat. Now, children across orphanages in Congo are switching to sort of a mopose, since meat and proteins are both expensive and scarce. Of the 99 million people facing a food crisis, children remain the worst affected in the country.
Onions, peppers, tomatoes and larvae. Inside this orphanage in the Democratic Republic of Congo's capital Kinshasa, children are being fed thick white worms known locally as pose. Edible insects, including larvae, are increasingly being studied for their potential as a sustainable alternative form of protein to meat. And some say they could help address malnutrition in the West African nation. Around 1/4 of Congo's 99 million population is facing a food crisis, and 1/2 of all orphans are suffering from malnutrition. That's according to the World Food Programme. Kinshasa-based non-profit organisation Farms for Orphans provides protein-rich larvae to local orphanages to help feed deprived children. Agricultural engineer François Lucadi runs the organisation.
We realised that there was a serious problem of malnutrition and lack of nutrients among children, especially those under 5. So we thought, here's what we can do to solve this problem once and for all. Why not put in place a sustainable solution that can address both child malnutrition and environmental problems? So we turned to insects.
The UN Food and Agricultural Organization says insects can be a rich source of fat, protein, vitamins, fibre and minerals. Some can be used either for human consumption, like in Congo, or for animal feed in Benin. Farms for Orphans produces up to 660 pounds of palm larvae per month and provides meals to several hundred children per quarter. The organisation received funding from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation for its initial research and launch. Lucadi hopes to produce enough larvae to sell commercially to subsidise donations to orphanages. Her team currently supplies 4 restaurants in Kinshasa, where palm worms are becoming increasingly popular. The organisation is also studying how to grow the larvae and harvest the larvae sustainably in laboratories. But some critics say it would be difficult to ramp up production to a commercial scale due to a lack of adequate resources. Several studies say commercial-scale insect farming could also pose food safety risks, as some require feed crops that could otherwise go directly toward human consumption.
In fact, this concept is not new. In Northeast, where a lot of silk comes in, a lot of silkworms are actually had as snack there as well and said to be a great source of protein. So interesting development over there. On that note, don't lose your appetite. We're going to take a break. Come back with that person of interest who is the chess player who par excellence, Divya Deshmukh. We sit down for a chat with her on how she's acing it on the chessboard.
Hospitalized. Remember, she is protesting, for water, for more water for Delhi. In fact, she has been claiming that Haryana is not releasing the adequate amount, and even when it is releasing the adequate amount, the water is not reaching Delhi, and Delhi is somewhere facing the water scarcity, and this is the reason why Aam Aadmi Party is in fact demanding extra water for Delhi. But today, she has been hospitalized in the LNJP hospital, and it has been confirmed by Aam Aadmi Party leaders.
Right, Akash. Thank you so much for bringing us the latest with regards to her health. We'll keep coming back to you for more updates on that story. Right now, shifting focus to another piece of breaking news now coming in. All right, but we have got a reaction also coming in from Sanjay Singh of Aam Aadmi Party. He will give the update about Atishi's health at the moment. Let's take a look at that as well.
तार बिगड़ रहा था और अभी जो रात को इनका शुगर लेवल चेक किया गया, ब्लड शुगर की जो रिपोर्ट आई है वो 43। तो सारे डॉक्टरों की ये सलाह है कि स्थिति इनकी बिगड़ी हुई है और इनको हॉस्पिटल में एडमिट करना बहुत ज़रूरी है, वरना बहुत गंभीर स्थिति हो सकती है, बहुत बुरी हालत हो सकती है। इसलिए डॉक्टरों की सलाह पे इनको एडमिट कराया जा रहा है।
मैम अभी कौन से हॉस्पिटल जा रही है?
LNJP हॉस्पिटल में एडमिट कराने जा रहे हैं और पिछले 4 दिनों से लगातार, आज 5वां दिन हो गया, अनशन पे हैं। अन्न का एक दाना नहीं लिया, शुगर लेवल लगातार नीचे जा रहा है, कीटों।
Some big breaking news now coming in. Well, WikiLeaks found Welcome back. It's time now to have our conversation with a person of interest. Now today we introduce you to 18-year-old Divya Deshmukh, a star in the chess circuit for the last few years. She once again made India proud as she emerged victorious in the World Junior Girls Chess Championship. Divya won the under 10, under 12, under 20 junior championships, all of them. And this is an impressive resume for someone who did not enjoy the game when she actually started playing it first as a 5-year-old. It was only after almost 2 years of constant playing that she fell in love with chess. But once she started winning, she was hooked on and there was no turning back for Divya. So we thought, let's have a chat and understand how did this entire journey go for her. Joining us now is Divya. Hi Divya, good morning. Thanks so much for joining us. You are just 18 and you're already such a world champion in the juniors category, of course, for chess. I want to understand how 18-year-old intense players like you, and especially those who play chess, celebrate the moment.
Thank you so much. I'm mainly celebrating it with my family. I've been away from them for like almost 15 days. So I came back home and they gave me flowers and it was very sweet.
How sweet. But Divya, when we look at pictures, it looks like the trophy is bigger than you. And I believe it was quite a challenge even bringing it back home.
No. It's definitely not bigger than me. But it's huge. I think it's around 4.5 feet. So yeah, it was quite tough to carry it, but thankfully the airline made it quite easy for me.
Okay, nice. You know, Divya, I want to understand this. We are in the sort of golden age of chess, where, you know, everybody seems to be, we seem to be getting one sort of champion after the other in the juniors category, in the seniors category, all of that as well. So how does this girl who talks very less with braces on her doing it all and staying on top of her game year after year?
Yes, definitely. I'm very lucky that I was part of the initial chess boom, which happened during the COVID period. And I'm very glad that chess is getting attention now. And yes, I wouldn't say this is the golden generation because I'm very sure the generation after me, they can achieve so much more because they have much more resources now. But yes, this generation definitely it is the foundation to a much bigger uh, boom, let's say.
Nice. But tell me, how did your passion for chess actually start? How did you pick up the game?
Uh, I initially did not like chess because I was 5, and no 5-year-old likes chess. They don't want to sit at the board and play and think and everything. So I think I will have to credit my parents and my first coach there. They really pushed me to my limits, and they were so supportive. They even if I had failures, successes, they were always there for me. And I think my first coach, Rahul Joshi sir, who is no longer alive, I think he guided my parents to let them know that I am actually capable of achieving things and gave them a direction, which really helped me in my life.
Nice. Nice. So your passion turned into this,
obsession for the game, but it's an extremely obsessive game and an extremely competitive game as well. How do you keep up with that pressure?
Yes, I still haven't decided to take it to the professional level. I'm still keeping my options open. So I don't know. I definitely didn't take the decision yet.
Okay. Okay. Also, what's interesting, Divya, about this game is that it's the only sport perhaps which is gender neutral. Boys play against girls. There is no barrier on gender per se. You can sit down. What matters is how your mind is really thinking. That I've always found that is the most beautiful part about chess. What is your favorite part about chess?
Chess, I think it is a brilliant game, and it's been there like I think it's probably the oldest game. I'm not very sure, but I think what fascinates me most about chess is actually nobody's asked me this question. I never thought about it. Uh, I honestly don't know. It's just it's like an inner calling, I would say. Like just something draws me to it. I am not sure what.
Nice, nice. Thanks for your honesty over there. Divya, also tell us, you're preparing for your 12th board examinations now. Is yours a typical household where parents are saying, ab game bahut ho gaya, khel bahut ho gaya, padhai likhai pe dhyan do?
No, it is the opposite actually. My parents were just like, it's okay, you don't need to focus on studies, but for them, studies is also quite
Wow.
important. So they knew that I would prefer doing
Hmm.
chess, so they were quite supportive. They said, okay, we will just give you exams, we will study a bit, and it's okay even if you pass.
Hmm.
So they were very supportive. Yes, they were very supportive in that sense, and I never felt any sort of
Nice.
pressure.
That is super. Kudos to you and kudos to your parents as well, really sort of highlighting and, supporting in all the skill sets, which are not just studies per se. Last question really, Divya, and this is about chess. Vishwanathan Anand had once said that though chess is mentally demanding, you need to be very physically fit to play a game like this. Do you agree?
I think to to pursue chess at a professional level, you need to have three things in order. First of all, your mental state, then your physical state, and of course, your chess preparation. So, for mental, I think you really need to eat well, do sports would come, I think, in physical, but maybe like yoga and meditation to be at peace, because when you're playing chess and when it's in one of those high intensity moments, you're in time trouble and everything, I think you really need to know how to manage your nerves, because otherwise you just collapse. So that is one part. And physically also, because chess is very tiring physically and it is very calorie consuming, so you need to have a lot of energy, you need stamina, you need to just be able to sit at the board for like 3-4 hours while your energy is going down and down, and you need to keep thinking. And like, okay, in chess, like I think it's different from other sports that one move and your entire game is gone. Like, so, and in other sports, at least you have one goal or one
A
point
chance
you
to
can
come
make
back,
up in
yeah.
the next point. But here, one game and one move and the entire game is gone. So you cannot afford to mess up, I think. So that's why I think all three are quite necessary.
All right, Divya, thanks so much for joining us and sharing your beautiful chess journey with us, and good luck for the chess tournament, the championship that's coming up next as well. Thanks so much for joining us.
Has agreed to plead guilty in the US court to revealing military secrets in exchange for his freedom, ending his years-long legal drama. Assange, who had been in custody in Britain, will plead guilty to a single count of conspiracy to obtain and disseminate national defence information as well. That's the big breaking news now coming in. Another piece of breaking news also coming in. Well, NASA has delayed the return of 2 astronauts from the International Space Station for the third time now, raising probable concerns the crew could be quote-unquote stranded. Butch Wilmore and Sunita Williams were initially scheduled for a 9-day stay, which was then pushed back twice this month and now sits at undetermined date as well. So that's the big breaking news now coming in. Remember, we told you earlier that there are multiple helium leaks happening and Boeing is unable to fix all of those helium leaks as well. That could be a probable reason why NASA has now delayed the return of 2 of the astronauts from the International Space Station for the third time, raising many concerns that the crew could be quote-unquote stranded. Butch Wilmore and Sunita Williams are on board. They were initially scheduled for a 9-day stay, which was then pushed back twice this month and now sits at an undetermined day as well. Shifting focus towards the state of Tamil Nadu and bringing you all the latest updates with regards to the huge tragedy. A number of people dying due to consumption of toxic country liquor in Tamil Nadu's Kallakurichi district reached 58 yesterday, and the least 156 people are still in hospitals across the state after consuming the illicit liquor on last Wednesday evening. Now, the Crime Branch Criminal Investigation Department, which is the CBCID of Tamil Nadu Police, has already begun a thorough investigation into the tragedy. AIADMK delegation is going to meet the governor over huge tragedy as the death toll continues to mount even further.
No, we are not silent at all. We have completely condemned it. We have asked the government to take the necessary.
Welcome back. Let's shift gears to some auto news now, and shifting our focus there, we tell you everything that Tata Motors has done to turn Altroz to the Tata Altroz Racer. We take a look at what's changed under the skin on the inside and the visual updates as well. The Tata Altroz Racer is powered by 1.2-litre turbo petrol that makes 120 PS and 170 Nm paired with 6-speed manual. I'll stop there now. Overdrive will tell you more.
So what is your opinion of small, accessible, enthusiast cars?
I think it's much needed, right? I mean, that's what I said. It's a mass market car, and like what the GTI did in Germany, that youngsters for accessibility. See, when I mean neutral, the car's so easy to drive, right? And you can have a lot of fun with it as well. That's what I feel. See, it's so easy to handle, yeah? None of the front-wheel drive cars, they always have the plow, the understeer.
Yeah.
So this is very neutral handling,
Do you think cars like these, accessible, fun cars like these,
yeah,
do you think they create a culture among, say, people of appreciating cars?
As I told you earlier, in the mass market, to have some, access to some platform like this, right? It'll do wonders. And so that is what we are all made a very fun car on the track. Plus, okay, normally people don't drive on the track, but on the road as well. Yeah. It translates still that fun factor, the performance. All of those things are, very evident.
Yeah. And if you had to give someone, say, who might want to buy this car, who is sort of an enthusiast, how can they drive cars like these better on the road, and maybe if they take it on a track day? Just one tip if you had to give them.
See, we've built a lot of, safety point of view. This is the only car this has the 5-star rating, right? NCAP. So this car, the platform itself, from very well engineered, and now we have the dynamics as well and the engine to match it. So as a package, I think it's one of the best cars, hot hatches or hatchbacks you can buy in the market. So you should drive and give us your feedback and tell us what you think.
Yeah, of course. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
I guess in an hour time.
How was the SUV X5 on this?
It was good. I mean, I like this track first of all. Like, I don't have too much experience of driving on track.
Okay.
But for me, which is why I liked it, because I thought it was an easy track for me to get used to.
Right.
Because of how the corners are. They're not very tight or technical.
Yeah, all open flowing.
Yeah. So I found that very easy, and it helped me with that X5 as well.
Okay.
So,
did you drive this car on the road?
Yeah, I already drove it on the road.
Okay.
So clearly it's very different from the regular Aircross.
Yeah.
The steering is much more precise, more direct.
Yes.
The clutch, I remember the earlier Aircross, it wasn't as light or as progressive as this.
Right.
This one. In the real world, you don't feel tired in traffic.
Right. So we use the Franks and the I-20N as the benchmark.
Yeah.
And try to be better on the racetrack. Of course, it's like nearly 2 seconds faster than the I-20N line.
Okay.
The Franks is very light. But it's
slightly higher.
CG is higher, and it's soft, right?
Yeah.
And the steering is very light, so really not meant for the
track.
Yeah.
Another thing I liked was the engine. I mean, I've driven this engine in the Nexon, but obviously this feels a lot more energetic than what it is in the Nexon.
Yeah.
Especially in the low end, say.
More drivable, right?
Yeah, much more drivable.
Yeah.
All right, and moving on now. It was a festive mahal at the Sinha household on Sunday. Sonakshi Sinha tied the knot with her longtime boyfriend Zaheer Iqbal in a sort of rather low-key ceremony. But more than the newlywed, netizens were interested in knowing more about Sonakshi Sinha's brothers, Kush and Luv, allegedly absent from the festivities. The brothers have now finally spoken up on the rumours of their alleged rift with the sister. Take a look.
After many speculations, Sonakshi Sinha and Zaheer Iqbal are now officially married. The newlyweds glowed with happiness and excitement as they made their media appearances post-marriage and seemed very happy in each other's company. मगर कई लोगों को लग रहा है कि इस शादी से सोनाक्षी के भाई लव कुश नहीं है। लेकिन इतना जल्दी आगे दौड़ने से पहले जरूरी है कि आपको थोड़ा सा कॉन्टेक्स्ट दिया जाए। तो हुआ यूं कि आज से ठीक 7 साल पहले बोथ सोनाक्षी एंड जहीर स्टार्टेड डेटिंग। रिपोर्ट्स की माने तो दोनों सलमान खान की एक पार्टी में मिले थे। Zaheer also happens to be the son of Salman Khan's childhood friend Iqbal Ratansi, who happens to be a renowned businessman and a jeweler. In fact, as was the case with Sonakshi Sinha, it was Salman Khan who gave Zaheer his big Bollywood break by producing his 2019 debut film Notebook. सोनाक्षी और जहीर की दोस्ती धीरे धीरे प्यार में बदल गई। मगर वो लव स्टोरी ही क्या जिसमें कि थोड़े स्पीड ब्रेकर्स ना आए। पहले तो लंबे समय तक दोनों ने ये रिलेशनशिप कंफर्म ही नहीं किया, और जब किया तो खबरें आने लगी कि सोनाक्षी की फैमिली इस रिश्ते से खुश नहीं है। हालांकि शादी से कुछ दिन पहले शत्रु साहब का घर रामायण काफी सजा हुआ दिखा, but eagle-eyed fans quickly noticed that while Kush Sinha was still following her on social media, her other brother Luv and mom Poonam Sinha had unfollowed her. But while Poonam ji still made it to the wedding, many people commented that both the brothers were missing from the festivities. But now, both of them have finally responded to the rumors. In an exclusive statement given to News 18, Kush Sinha said that he was very much a part of the gala night, but being a private person, he wasn't covered by the paps. He also added that he only has good wishes for her sister before concluding that it was a very sensitive time for the family. Wahi Luv Sinha too responded to reports of him giving the festivities a miss, sharing a media portal's article that had quoted him as saying that he needed a day or two to think of an answer as to why he was missing from the festivities. Luv Sinha simply wrote that the publication perhaps needed better sources. Well, looks like all's well that ends well. And as her dad Shatrughan Sinha had said, unki jodi salamat rahe.
All right, next we bring you a special section on financial markets powered by Money Control Pro, Money Control's premium destination for investing and business insights. Let's start with the markets now. GIFT Nifty indicated a muted opening for the Indian stock markets today. Asian markets are trading with marginal gains in the morning trade. Technology stocks in the US markets rebound after 3 days of decline, and crude oil prices hold steady as traders weigh inventories. Let's also look at sectors in focus this morning. Now, with the Telangana government announcing farm loan waiver, other states may follow suit. The timing of the loan waiver around election cycles has been the norm. But small finance banks, NBFCs and microfinance institutions are most impacted by these loan waivers. Which stocks are going to be most vulnerable there? You can log on to Money Control Pro to find out more about the NBFCs, small banks and microfinance sectors and other actionable insights. It is the premier destination for all the investing views and financial insights you will ever need to know, brought to you by Money Control. All right, with that, it's a wrap on today's edition. Like we always say, you can log on to our YouTube page, go in on our different social media channels as well, and tell us what are the more stories that you would like us to cover in this season. It could be about the weather, it could be about the food you eat, it could be about fitness, it could be about a drug. Anything that concerns you is important to us, and we will get going on that subject. So see you again tomorrow. Until then, take good care of yourself. Bye-bye.
To curb illegal liquor, we have done it. We are not silent. The Congress party is very responsible and is completely conscious of what's happening there, and it is a serious issue.
Honorable Governor, and we have submitted a memorandum. We have appealed for CBI inquiry because the state government is denying